Welcome back to this week's episode of The Outside In, featuring myself, the Perlan Backpacker. Yes, I do believe I look like I'm travelling rather light. However, didn't really think this one through, did I? I've dumped the swag near where I'm going to be camping. This week I am taking the Outside In to Atherstone. If you put an R on the front and a D on the end, you get rather stoned. Atherstone train station. Yeah, so next thing I'm going to retrieve my bags that I've actually hidden in a bush. Yeah, when I've come past this previously, there was a lot more cover than there is now. And when I've come round to where I'm going to be camping, looking at it, I think this could be a bit of a fail. But I've decided this is where I'm going to be, so this is where I'm going to be. As long as I'm out of sight, out of mind during the night, I don't really care in the morning. I do apologise for that noisy train. Suddenly run out of light tonight. So yeah, my camping location tonight is where the A5 comes across. You've got the exit for Atherstone. And I've had my eye on this little bit of land you'll see in a minute for quite a while. Right, that is where I've hidden my gear, because I have had a very long walk. It's certainly going to be a noisy one, I reckon, tonight with the A5 next to me, but that's part of what I do. Once I'm asleep, I won't care. Right, so it's this bit of land around here. Yeah, the last time I come round here, there was so much more cover. Obviously that storm's blew all the leaves away, what was left of them. So what I want to do certainly is sketchy around here. There is absolutely no cover. Right, so I'm going to have to make the best of a pretty bad situation here. Where I'm sort of crouched down now, this is where I'm going to put the tent. I did think about putting the tarp up and using the bivvy bag, but right, yeah, we've got vehicles constantly coming round because obviously it's the off slip to get into Atherstone. Atherstone. So yeah, I'm going to clear this area. Firstly, I am going to sit and I'm going to have an IPA. So that's the first thing I want to do. I think I've got a fair bit to talk about tonight. I've got some new tech. That's going to be interesting to talk about. Also, there will be a little cameo in the video when it's dropped tomorrow. That's going to be good. But yeah, I'm going to stop giving it all that. I'm going to get in the good old trusty chair and have myself a tipple. So, I'm in the chair. The chair. Having myself a lovely IPA. Steam brew. Got it from Lidl. Very nice. First of a few tinnies tonight. Well deserved, I reckon, after the week I've had. Less about that. Well, cheers. Yeah, this one is not Christmassy at all. I do apologise, but if you watched last week's video, I did all the festive stuff then. Extra festive cheer and all that. There was a Christmas tree, there was Christmas lights. I had a blast. I was also very drunk. Looking back at the videos, I was a bit blottoed, but I had a good time. This location would be perfect in the summer months, I've got to admit. All this would be full of green and leaves and nobody'd know I'm here, but tonight I'm chancing it a bit. Excuse me. That'll be the IPA. But yeah, anyway, all I've got really for cover tonight is a few like trees and darkness. I'm hoping once I put the tent up, I haven't done that yet, when I put the tent up behind me, I'm hoping it's just at the right level. You know, it's not going to stand out too much. I don't want any unwanted attention. So yeah, while I'm sat here, the cameo. This clip next is a guy who really does really love the channel and gives me lots of support and lots of positivity. So this is for you, buddy. You know who you are. As a Christmas gift to my number one and only top fan, I'm giving him a complimentary Christmas sit in the chair. Come on, I want to hear it.
Merry Christmas from the chair. Have a good one.
You are the only person who's got to sit in the chair that isn't a bloodline relative.
I'm privileged. Properly privileged.
Wicked.
Merry Christmas from the
Merry Christmas. Right, that took a little bit longer than I anticipated because where I pitched my tent up, absolutely riddled with brambles. I've had to clear them the best I can. Kept getting thorns in my fingers and stuff. Obviously I've got the blue tarp underneath to protect the what is going on. Ground sheet is what I'm looking for. My head is so foggy this week. I haven't been feeling the best, to be fair, but anyway, don't care about that. I'm back out doing what I love. Here I am. Anyway, right, I am trying to keep on the low down because when you actually see the setup in a minute, it's not very stealthy at all. Right, so we are officially, you know it, the outside in. That's where it's at. Wait for this car to go past. Do apologise. Anyway, what have we got tonight? Same as usual. The old thermometer's out. 9 degrees. Not cold at all. Yeah, blah blah blah, the usual, the pillow, the old sleeping pad, self-inflating sleeping pad. Can't get my words out tonight. I've only even had one beer as well. Yeah, sleeping bag. Got the kit nicely inside, keep it dry in case the weather turns. The mini bar is officially open. Right, what are we eating tonight? Good question. What are we eating? Right, so the old mashed potatoes. Yeah, I know, cheating. Bit of broccoli, and we are having a ribeye steak. And you couldn't have it without gravy, so there's my little bit of gravy. Rip off Pringles. Got some dip somewhere. Dip. Some porridge oats for in the morning with me cup of tea. That'll go down nice. So yeah, that is the setup. Anyway, I'm going to close this off because there seems to be a lot of spiders and bugs around tonight. I've already had to get a couple of spiders out as I've been setting up. A couple of mouse spiders, if you know what they are. Right. Anyway, so coming round here, I'll show you what it's looking like. So yeah, you've got the A5 running along there. Hide the light. Basically, obviously coming round here is the off slip to come round Grafferstone. I've said it again, Afferston. Walking round. I mean, at a glance, it's not too obvious, but you can still see the obviously the reflecting eye lines there and there. Oh, forgot to put that one in. Nice bit of a breeze tonight, so I'm hoping that's going to keep the condensation to a minimum. Nothing worse than condensation in the old tent. And over there is a FedEx yard. I did see a security guard walking around earlier, but I mean, I'm no bother to him here, am I? You know. But yeah, so that is home for the night. So I'm now going to go and sit in the chair. Have myself a Pearl and Backer and a little snack, I think. So yeah, finally getting to chill out now, sat in the chair. Having myself a lovely cold Pearl and Backer, courtesy of Lidl. But yeah, that's pretty much me set for the night now. I'm glad we've got long hours of darkness, because otherwise I'll be getting up and leaving very early where I am. You know, like, well, actually in the summer months, no I wouldn't, because I'd have cover, but you know what I mean. Gotta be honest, temperature has dropped, so I'm now wrapped up nice and warm in the old down jacket, got the fleece on underneath, got myself a nice woolly hat underneath. So yeah, I am nice and toasty. Anyway, I mentioned earlier about some new tech. The car's going past. I'm at that point now, I really can't be bothered. If they see me, they see me. You know, can't keep dimming the camera like that. But anyway, first things first. Until now, I was running my phone in power save mode, so I'd got enough charge in my phone to actually get me through each camp that I did. Yeah, it's quite limiting to what you can actually, you know, use your phone for. So if I wanted to obviously create content, I had to sacrifice watching a movie or whatever in the tent before I went to sleep or anything like that. So I've been looking around and looking online, and I needed a power bank. I'm not one of these people who just go and buy the first thing they see. I did look around, I looked at the reviews, and I ended up getting a Juice power bank from Argos. Is it 27,000 milliampere hours? It will basically, according to what I read, will charge a typical phone once obviously the battery's settled in. A typical smartphone, it will charge 7.5 times. That is a lot of charge. Now, I've charged my phone a couple of times, not from completely flat with it, and when it's full power, it has 4 little lights. I've charged my phone a couple of times. I've charged some AA batteries in a USB AA smart charger. It's not even gone down 1 bar yet. This thing is an absolute powerhouse, and it's not even optimized. So the reviews, they were up there, they were, you know. So yeah, I no longer have to run my phone in a battery saver mode. Right, so that's the power bank out the way. Good bit of kit so far, very impressed. Outside in, that is where it's at. Anyway, if you've been following the channel, you might remember, not last week's video, but the video before, where I was doing a stealth camp on a roundabout. Yeah, that's the one. I spoke about lighting and how, like, I don't like this super bright white light. I like the warm light. I'm not going to go into it anyway. If you've watched the video, you'll know what I'm on about. I looked online for a warm light lantern, because all your typical lanterns that you get from, you know, your run-of-the-mill go outdoors, Blacks, Millets, all that, they all seem to have one thing in common: the ultra bright cob technology, pure white light. However, after I did a little Google search, this little beauty came up. Can't see it. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll put some light on it. Hold on, vehicle coming. I'll just hide the main headlight. Right, so what we've got is a retro lamp. However, it's not actually retro, it's actually LED. But this little lamp, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you properly. Yeah, this little lantern basically it's like a dimmer setting, so you can turn it from low to high, but it starts off a very nice warm light, and obviously if you need extra light, then there's extra LEDs underneath which make it a pure bright white light. So the reason I got this is because it's actually a traditional nice warm light that I was talking about. I know it sounds really, you know, but what I'll do is I'll show you in action. But according to the website that with the details about it, it runs for 12 hours, but I can't see it running for 12 hours on full light, so I should imagine that's on a low setting. But even if you get 6 hours out of it, it's got a USB-C charging point to charge it up with. You've got the 4 little lights there to show you the charge. But yeah, and the best of it, this little beauty cost me £9. But so far, I'm so impressed with it. It's a nice little bit of kit, and obviously it'll hang nicely inside the tent. So yeah, let's see it in action. I'll bring you back in a minute. Right, so bringing you around to the little lamp or lantern, I'm going to put it on the first setting, which is so from here, that is a lovely, lovely warm yellow. It don't seem to look that way on the camera, but it is. And then obviously we can turn it up and intensify it again. Really doesn't show too well on the camera. Don't do it any good putting my head torch on either. However, right, it's definitely a lovely warm glow. But if I turn it up, yeah, I think that looks like a warm glow now on the camera. However, if I keep going, you've got the LEDs at the top kicking. To be fair, that's still quite a lovely warm glow. That is really bright. But yeah, I'm going to turn it off because obviously it's probably drawing a lot of attention to me. And there you have it. Lovely retro lantern. I think my next camp is going to be a woodland camp. So I'm going to have no traffic or anything like that to contend with, so I will really get to see how this little thing performs. But right now, I think it's brilliant. It is now in pride of place, hanging up in the tent. I mean, I'm not going to want that on much tonight because it will make the tent stand out like a sore thumb. But it looks pretty. Right, so up till now, I've been cooking. Got the broccoli, mashed potato, and currently doing the gravy. And then finally I'm going to whack the steak on, and that's going to be a lovely meal. Can't wait for that bad boy. The old ribeye's in. So as you can hear, any hope of sitting back outside in the lovely chair, that's not happening. Absolutely peeing it down with rain. That's the new lantern in action. I'm still cooking my food, so got to keep an eye on that. I'm going to attend to the food. That is a mess tin dinner, and that is a fail where my tarpaulin got burnt, so I will be replacing that tomorrow or whenever it's convenient. But yeah, it caught to light. I had to put it out. Normally I don't have a fire on top of the tarpaulin, but anyway, who cares? Look at that for a lovely meal. I'm gonna get my laughing gear into that. Oh, so it's 10 to 1 in the morning. This time I'm still awake. Makes a change, doesn't it? Do feel tired now though, gotta admit. Oh, I'm looking forward to getting to that sleeping bag. Well, it's the 24th of December now, and that marks 12 years since the passing of my dad. So out of respect, I thought I'd light him a candle. And I know if he was with me now, he'd be having a Stella Artois with me. Well, it's 5:30, already wide awake. Been lying here for a bit, trying to go back to sleep, but as you know, because I work nights, this is when I'm wide awake, so it can only mean one thing. I'm going to put the kettle on, have a cup of tea, maybe try and get back to sleep for a bit afterwards, but who knows. But as you can see behind me, my new little lantern, very nice. Oh, I'm glad I woke up, because I did dream I'd got an £80 parking ticket. How random's that? Wow. Things we dream about, eh? And yeah, I think I just got into bed last night. Didn't say good night or nothing, did I? But oh well. So that's the old kettle on. Same as usual. Got some oats to have. Just pour hot water in, Jobby. That'll do, mate. You know, I watch other camping channels at times, and I don't know how they manage to keep their living area so, you know, clean. Mine always looks like a right mess. Look at it. I mean, I think this is as real as it gets. You're living in a very small space. The wind has blown in leaves. As you know, last night I managed to burn the under tarp that I use as a footprint, protect the bottom of the tent. But yeah, even in here, look, it's just carnage. Oh well. But yeah, I just think obviously this seems more realistic than opening up a tent and you've got a palace inside. So yeah, I've been up since 5:30. It's now coming up to 8:30. I've just, to be honest, I've been doing something I haven't been able to do up till now, and that was a bit of video editing and going through some of the clips I made last night, you know, while I've had a bit of downtime, chilling out and whatnot. I've had my porridge, still drinking cups of teas. My phone is what I do all my recording on, is at 93% as I speak, courtesy of the old power bank that I told you about last night. My phone was fully charged and it's finally gone down by one light. There's 4 lights obviously indicate the charge level, and as I say, I've done quite a few charges with it so far, so it is really holding up. I'm really impressed. I didn't tell you last night, when I was pulling my stuff out of my my large backpack, my down jacket was in the top, and I'd wrapped my power bank and cables inside my down jacket to keep them protected. I'd forgotten, and I'd pulled my down jacket out in the dark. Could I find my power bank? Not a chance. And this was after I'd set the tent up and whatever. So I ended up having to head torch, look everywhere. I actually thought I'd left it at home on the table, so I ended up phoning my daughter. She said it wasn't at home, and it turned out it had fell into a bush. Luckily, no harm done to it or nothing, you know, weren't no major impacts or wet, so I was lucky with that one. Idiot. I'm also able to charge my light up on the old selfie stick, because it's run out, so I'm back down to using the head torch to, you know, so I can put the camera on my face, on my mug. So I'm sat here having another brew. Not like me to have about 50 brews in the morning, is it? But hey-ho. And it's daylight. I did intend to get out of here early, but I'm past caring, to be fair. I'm sat here thinking about things, and one of the things I thought about is I didn't give any tips this week. I do like to give tips to, you know, people who are maybe looking at doing this sort of thing. I've learnt tips off people. I've also learnt from my own mistakes. A real good tip is keeping an inventory. We've all got a smartphone these days. What I do on my little notepad in my phone is I've got a list of all my gear, starting with like my sleeping system, obviously tent, tarp, etc. Obviously cooking kit, personal hygiene, you know, everything, inventory. And before I set out now, what I tend to do is I'll look in that inventory, and as I'm packing my kit, I'll go through it and I'll make sure I've got everything. You do not want to get somewhere and find out, oh, I left my fuel at home, or oh, I didn't bring my lighters, or I've left such and such, because it's going to ruin your camp. I can guarantee that. Or you're going to have to improvise, or you're going to have to find another way of doing what it is you'd forgotten. I mean, if it's something like, well, you're not going to get something like a sleeping bag because it's big and bulky, but you get the picture. Also, in terms of your gear and stuff, I think one of the most important things is it's not how much your gear costs, it's not how much, you know, who's got the best this, who's got, it's not about that. What it is about is looking after your gear. Your gear is going to keep you dry, it's going to keep you going out on camps. The best thing you can do is regularly inspect your gear. I've got to inspect my self-inflating mattress. I do believe there's a very, very slow puncture on it. I did try and locate it with a wet sponge and some washing up liquid, but I couldn't find it, so I'm going to have to resort to putting it in the bath. If it has got a puncture, I'm going to have to fix it. It doesn't seem as firm when I add that extra bit of air to it when I wake up in the morning as when I, you know, put it out on the night. So yeah, they're good tips. Maintain your gear. I did mention to somebody on their video how to deal with wet tents if you've got bad weather outside. And what I do is, if you've got a shower rail in your bathroom, and you've got a shower that goes into the bath, what I do is I hang the inner first of the tent, hang the inner, have it draping into the bath, and I'll put an extension lead, and I'll put a pedestal fan. I have that blowing, and that actually dries all the inside of the tent. A score by error, and I've done this myself even in the warm months, is I've put my tent away, I've left the fly sheet out as I'm packing away in the wind, so it's dried it out. But what I didn't realise is the inside had still got moisture. Unbeknownst to me, packed it away, left it in the boot of my car, come to use it on future camps, and I've got little black mould spores. So ever since then, it doesn't matter whether I believe the inside's dry as a bone, I will still air it. I'll either air it on the washing line if it's not raining, or, as I say, the shower method. But the shower method, it really does work. Tried and tested on a weekly basis after I've been in some horrendous rain. Yeah, I always prioritise the inner sheet, and then what I do then, obviously when that's dry, I'll then put the outer on and get that dry, make sure all the vents, there's no water left inside there. If there is, I'll just get kitchen towel and just dab it out and then leave it to air until I know it's completely bone dry. But yeah, them are my tips for this week. Tips while having a brew, eh? Doesn't get any better than that, does it? He's only gone and made another brew. Yeah, I've done a lot of that this time in this video, in this episode, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, I may have mentioned it before, I can't remember. I mean, I have done a few videos now. I mean, I don't like the idea of repeating myself. I'd like to, instead of repeating myself, there's just certain things obviously you will talk about time and time again. And one thing that's important to me is, you hear me say it all the time, I know, keep it real. We are keeping it real, you know. I'm going to touch up on it again in case I haven't mentioned it. I do believe I may have done, But when I say about keeping it real, I'm on about, like, we live in a time now which is completely different. People my age, you'll know yourself, and when you was growing up, the times when you was growing up, I mean, I'm an 80s child. I'm 40 years old. I was born in 83. Spent the first part of my childhood in the 80s, 7 years, and obviously 90s. It's where I obviously went on to become a teenager and finally becoming an adult in 2001. I know people say it, but I just think those were such better times. People were just different back then. I don't think the internet and the way it's evolved is doing people any favours. It just seems like, to me, it's just a world of narcissism. Look at me, look what I've got. People doing things for likes, you know. I'm doing this because it's my little bit, it's my little getaway time. I just love doing what I'm doing. I've seen other YouTubers do it, and through doing these videos I've connected with these people, and I'm connected with like-minded people. But going back to keeping it real, it's, you know, I'm just a real person. I'm not fake, I'm not anything. You know, you get so much fakeness now on the internet, all these stupid socials. I've touched up on that before about the socials. I don't really do the socials. YouTube is now my biggest thing. But yeah, going back to the internet, I feel the more connected the world is becoming, the more disconnected I feel as I'm growing up. And sometimes I just preferred simpler times, and it doesn't get any more simple than this. And it's just nice just to get away from the hustle and bustle of life, done a week's work, leave it all behind, get out there, do what you enjoy. And I found this has become my medicine, and I genuinely do just love getting out there. I don't care if it's cold, I don't care if it's hot, wind, rain, snow. You've seen some of the videos. This idiot sat there in waterproof in a wet chair drinking a brew. Who cares, man? Just a drop of rain. But yeah, that is my passion. And I've noticed my subscribers have gone up, so I'm going to take this opportunity to say hello and welcome and thank you to all the people who are giving me continued support, the likes and stuff, you know. It's really nice. I'm really humbled. And I'll be packing up soon once I've drunk this brew. I'm going to take this opportunity, as it's Christmas Eve, to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Hope Santa brings you everything you want. Yeah, don't overdo it on the Christmas pudding. We know where that ends up. But yeah, obviously I don't want to be giving you all the well-wishings as I'm walking down the street with selfie stick. You know how it goes, you know, getting out of here and all that. So yeah, honestly, have a very happy Christmas. And while I'm at it, I'm giving another tip away. You probably already know this, but that sorry, I just had a message come through on my phone as I'm recording. Sorry. Yeah, that selfie stick also doubles up as a TV stand. Yes, you can use your phone obviously as a little mini screen instead of having to hold the phone, and you can lie there and you can watch a movie on your phone. I'm full of tips. I'm like Santa with tips this year, aren't I? But yeah, opening the tent for the first time. Oh, hello. The chair. Looking a little bit wet and feeling sorry for itself, I must say. Yeah, it's not very stealthy at all, is it? In fact, there's a person walking along there, just along there. Just sit ahead. think this needs to be titled Blatant Camping. So yeah, that was the most unstealthiest camp ever. Excuse me. Looking at it now, yeah, blatantly obvious where the tent was. I had to clear all that for all the bramble, as I said last night. My lovely bag of rubbish, my extra bit of stuff in that bag. Because I'm not Mary Poppins, I can't get all that stuff in this bag. I don't know how these people do it. That's the tip I need to learn. I need to watch how they get off their household inside a backpack. But I've just noticed there's some of my rubbish there. That's mine. Blown out the bag. Right, that is me leaving. Yeah, so I would actually conclude that that was probably one of the biggest stealth camping fails. So yeah, that was a bit of an epic fail. As I already said, that should be titled Camping in Plain Sight of Every Person. In fact, I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to hide all my clobber. I'm going to come round and get it by car because I don't want to be carrying all this through a town centre. Not quite keeping it real now, am I? I do apologise. If you enjoy this sort of stuff, you want to see more of my madness, give me a like, give me a subscribe. It all supports the channel. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep it real.